Guys, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. It's going to be a good show tonight. I'm excited. Let me get some water really quick. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, let's see, just making sure. Flat down here. Good. Well, that's a good way to start a show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. NorCal, what's going on? Is Black Diamond here? Wow. Guys, that's the beginning of the show. Jamison's sucking like a human. What's up? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm sure your music was coming from. What's going on? All right, Black Diamond's here. Shaquille O'Neal's here, guys. We'll go ahead and get started. Y'all ready? Let's do this. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Gratitude. This is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The show is called Gratitude. It's about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week, we have guests that recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And I am super excited, guys, to be here this week. We took off last week, so it's nice to kind of be back. Sometimes you have to sort of take a little bit of time off to recharge yourself, get yourself back to neutral, and restart the engine. So we have two amazing guests. What we like to do is we like to start every single show every week with a quote. And I actually have two quotes for this week's, guys. So the topic we'll be talking about with our second guest is confidence. And so these are the two quotes we have for this week, guys. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air and thinking you are better than everyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone else in the first place. Let me read that one more time. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air and thinking you are better than everyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone else in the first place. Guys, also the other quote we have, and this was really very beautiful, by the way. Confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. Let me read that one more time. Confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. Guys, that certainly hits a little bit different. That's an amazing thing. And so that's the topic when we're going into tonight. And so our first week's topic this week is we're going to reflect on loyalty. And I certainly want to welcome an amazing person to the box that we have in store tonight. And before we get into that, I'm going to have Emoji do our intro. I'm super excited about this. Bottom, such a creative guy. He records a lot of shows, a lot of things on the app. So please be sure to hit him with that favorite. He's an amazing dude for sure. There you go, right there, youtube.com/emojij. So guys, at this time, I'm going to welcome our first guest, Miss Black Diamond, to the box.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How are you tonight, hon? Thank you so
I'm
much for
doing
being here.
great. I appreciate the invite to come here. I'm so excited.
Absolutely, it's such a pleasure. I know that you're obviously probably a very busy woman yourself, and I just wanted again thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it.
So just to kind of give yourself a little bit of an introduction, I know that I try to do a little bit of my homework. I know that you were recently the winner of, there's a show on the app. It's not official, but it's certainly just a really cool and fun thing. It's called Meet Me Winner of the Next Streamer Star. So you won that.
I
It was
did.
Sparkles, and I certainly wanted to congratulate you on that for winning that. And it's certainly a great way, I think, for you, especially as well as anybody, to have that exposure and the opportunity. So yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was such a great experience. I had such a high, like the last 2 weeks, just even being a part of that. And I'm making a big push right now for my top badge. And really, one of the only things kind of holding me back is my phase. So just being a part of that and getting the exposure, I got so many faves over the last 2 weeks. So it just kind of fueled me up, pumped me up, kind of to get back focused on what I was here to do.
Well, I love it. I love it. It's certainly, like you said, a great way to have some exposure and an opportunity to be able to network to a lot of different people for sure. I also want to say that I think, and I don't know if you still currently do this, you have a show, I think, on Sundays at 3. I think it's called Soulful Sunday. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I have a show Sundays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Soulful Sundays. It's what I call my hour of power. I have a topic that we start the show off with, and we discuss throughout the hour. I have something called Black Diamond's Code of Hope, where I give just kind of a small word of encouragement. I don't preach. It's just a small word of encouragement. I give you my source of where I get my information from, which for me, it is the Bible, and I give you a song for the week, and I normally give you a task for the week, a challenge, if you will, of something to do. And then I take prayer requests throughout the entire hour, and I pray at the end of the stream to close out the show.
Wow, that's really nice. I think that I'm sure for a lot of people really mean a lot, especially being on a Sunday where a lot of people, try to acknowledge or recognize that as being like a day of rest for some people and things like that. I think that's certainly such a great way to try to reach a lot of different people on a lot of different levels. And so, I certainly want to admire you for that. And,
Thank you.
at some point, you may be able to get that show official. So,
Yep.
we'll see what works out for you somewhere down the road. So I certainly want to continue to wish you tremendous success in that. And
Thank
I'm
you.
certainly just, again, very appreciative for you taking time to be on the show. This week's topic that we're talking about, with you is loyalty.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times, loyalty can be a big part in people's lives. I think it can be something that is really, beneficial for people. I think that when you know that you have loyal people, I think that when you know that you have a loyal family,
Mhm.
or people around you, I think that's important. When you think about loyalty, when you think about what that means to you, where does your mind go? What really is something that you in particular are very grateful for in that regard as far as loyalty?
So I just jotted down a few notes of kind of some things I wanted to touch on for me with loyalty. And the Webster's definition of loyalty is a strong feeling of support and allegiance, which I agree with that somewhat. But for me, loyalty is more than a feeling. It's an action.
Right.
So it's something that takes place, and unfortunately, loyalty is tested through some type of trial, tribulation. You can't test loyalty if there's nothing ever happens to know if somebody's loyal to you or not.
Right.
So for me, it's what's done when I'm not there. Are you loyal to me when I'm not around? Do you have my best interests at heart when I'm not in the room? That's
Right.
how I measure loyalty, and that's what it is to me, and that's what it means to me.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. I think in a lot of people's everyday life to have loyalty, because I think we as people, we want to know that we're appreciated. We want to know that the people that we interact with every day, whether it be on the app, whether it be in real life, are people that we can depend on, are
Mhm.
people that we can trust. A lot of times I think that when we experience things in life, you want to put a lot of confidence in what you tell people. And I
Yep.
think that goes together hand in hand, loyalty, and being able to do that is important, because I think that when you're able to define that with people, it makes you feel like that, wow, these people have my back. And they obviously know as well that you have theirs.
Yep.
And so, I mean, would you agree that you think that that's certainly important every single day?
Absolutely. You can look at loyalty even outside of personal relationship. You could look at loyalty in businesses.
Yeah.
There's people that walk into establishments, and because they're so loyal to this establishment, the people that's ringing them up, or the people in the business, they know them by name. They know things going on in their personal lives. That's another form of loyalty that I think people overlook as well, is your consistency in something that brings actual loyalty, even in business, if you want to take it outside of personal relationship.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, because when you're dealing in business, when you're dealing with people exchanging money and hands and things like that, when you're putting the confidence in someone to that you're paying them to do a job, that you're paying them for a service,
Yep.
that you feel like that they're doing something that you feel like at the end of the day you're very happy with.
Yep.
And then you keep coming back. That's where the loyalty, to your point, comes into play, because you have that trust, you have that confidence, you have built those kind of relationships that, hey, this person's a phone call away. I'm very loyal to this person, this company, this business, to know that, hey, when I call them, they're going to be there. And they know that I'm also going to deliver where I need to as well.
And you said a key word in that, which is trust. Without trust, nothing lasts very long. And that's why sometimes people don't understand the breakdown. When you breach loyalty, what you're actually breaching is that person's trust. And when you breach a person's trust, it's not something that's easily fixed. It's not easily obtained a second time. It's a process to even build your way back up to where you left off when the trust was broken. So it's so many facets and layers to loyalty that I think people overlook. And I think because so many of our words now are becoming kind of cliche, that people throw the word out so much, and people have never broken it down to even understand the layers that go with loyalty. And the number one thing with loyalty is trust.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't have said it any better myself. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night. It's called Gratitude, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The show's about finding people to wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week we have guests that recall circumstances, people, memories that have humbled them, that help them reflect and grow through that to gratitude. And I've certainly had an amazing conversation so far with Miss Black Diamond, talking about loyalty and how important that is to her life, how it's certainly important to me as well. And again, guys, if you have an opportunity, please check out Trending. There's new shows on the app every single week, Monday through Thursday, all throughout the day, all throughout the evening. There's cooking shows, gratitude. There's dating shows. There's exercise shows. There's a lot of people putting a lot of time. Miss Black Diamond also has a show that she does, Soulful Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There's a lot of people putting a lot of time into creating content. It's fun to stream. It's fun to be a part of different people's lives and stuff. But, when you want to do something a little bit different, when you want to support these people, just try to pop in, check them out on the banner, see what everybody's doing in their neck of the woods, and just try to tell them what's up, tell them you appreciate what they're doing, and go from there. So as we get back to loyalty, I think that you said a great point. I think that people have to understand that trust and loyalty all go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
You can't have one without the other. I think that you also made a great point as well, and I completely agree with you that when you have trust with someone, that is a very delicate thing to have. What I mean by that is it's very easy to lose and very, very hard to gain.
Absolutely.
On so many different levels, personally, business, friendships, dating, whatever the case may be. I think that all that works together in such a way that those are relationships, that's where the foundations are started. Because if you don't have the loyalty, you don't have the trust, you don't have the confidence, you're taking steps backward instead of forward.
Yep. And reciprocation is important as well. So I can't be super loyal and die hard for you, and you can't reciprocate the same thing back for me. So for me, when I see that I'm in any type of ship, relationship, friendship, situationship, entanglement ship, whatever type of ship I might be in, okay? If it's one-sided, I'm not staying there. That's just all there is to it. Because when I'm all in and I'm locked in with a person or people, a place, a thing, and I'm loyal to that, then I'm going all the way to the end. You know what I'm saying? So when I see that I don't have reciprocation, I will cut it off without even a second thought.
I completely agree. I think that people like to have and know that things are reciprocated. I think a lot of times in life, when you have loyalty and other situations that come up, I think a lot of times, let me put it a different way. What you put in a lot of times is what you get out. If you don't put a lot of time and energy and effort into relationships, you can't really sit here on the other side and expect to get a lot out.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people don't understand a lot of times that it's give and take. You can't just give all the time. You can't just take all the time. It needs to be a reciprocal kind of thing.
Yep.
And I think that when people communicate and are on the same page, and then you start adding into things like loyalty, I think that's important because it all works together, like you said. I mean, it's like a recipe. If you're leaving out flour, you're leaving out sugar, at the end of the day, it's not going to be the cake that you want it to be.
Yep.
And if you have that mindset of that you have to have all these little things to work together, that's when you start having things really fall into place. That's when you start having a conclusion to what you really want to have.
Yep. And I know I've been kind of, I don't want to kind of say I'm downplaying the loyalty. I want to talk about the good side of when you do have people surrounding you that are loyal to you.
Sure.
Like you're really putting yourself in the best predicament and space to win. So it's always my motto to keep people around me that want to see me win, that want to see me succeed, that's not saying I'm here for you, but silently clapping. So when you have those people that are loyal to you and die hard and have your best interests at heart in and out of your presence, it's an absolute game changer.
It is.
Nothing like it.
100%. Because you want to know that when you're in the trenches taking grenades,
Yep.
you want to know somebody's got your back.
Yep.
You want to know that people are there to build you up. You don't need people to tear you down, or at least I don't, for me anyway, and I'm sure you're the same way, as well as a lot of people in here. You have to have and want to have people that are building you up, uplifting you, want the same things that you want.
Absolutely.
Maybe they want things a little bit different. Maybe they want to bring something a little bit more different to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But through that and through the differences, you can find a lot of similarities and try to move forward and go in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When you think about loyalty, do you feel like maybe not necessarily that it's more important in one more aspect than the other, but do you feel like that you apply that more in your personal life? Do you feel like that you apply that more on the app? Do you feel like that it's very much 50-50 one way or the other? How do you feel about that?
For me, I apply loyalty on this app.
Okay.
People, you see all those diamonds down there? That's attestation to my loyalty.
Yes,
and I also apply it in my everyday life. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The only thing that I'm not loyal to is a job. And the reason why I'm not loyal to a job is because if I die tomorrow, they're gonna replace me in 2.5 seconds. So I'm never loyal to a job. I will quit a job in a minute. I'll move. I'll go to another one. That's literally the only thing in my life that I'm not loyal to. But my friends on this app and off this app, if I call you the F word because I don't use it loosely, then you already know that there's nothing that won't be done for you by me. And I don't just say that, I show that.
Right. I think it's important. I think that completely agree. I think that when you're able to translate that, I think a lot of times, the app is a beautiful place. It's a great way to have a community and a friendship and a family and all that. But I think that when you're able to apply that in your real life,
yep.
I think that it certainly translates over to something like this. Because, you have a lot of people that support you. You also support a lot of people. I think that when you have that and people know that you're dedicated, people know that you have their back just like they do yours.
Yep.
I think that kind of stuff is important. A lot of people that you have friendships on the app, you talk to a lot of people off the app. A lot of people do. And whatever aspect that is, great friends, great people that you put a lot of confidence in and things like that. So I think that a lot of times that when you spend a lot of time talking to people, that they become a part of your life. just as much as you do theirs. And
Yeah.
I think that when you're able to have the loyalty, when you're able to have the confidence, when you're able to have the foundation for people to look at this and be like, man, that's a loyal friend. Because like you said, you don't throw around the F word very loosely. You know, you got to be someone that is there for you through thick and thin. I don't need somebody there for me when there's butterflies and clouds in the sky all the time. I want somebody to be there for me when it's tough. I want somebody to be there for me when I've woken up and not really had the best of days.
Yep.
I think that that's where the loyalty certainly plays a part, you know, in my personal life. How do you feel?
I agree 1000%. I'm one of those people that, for me, the people that I'm loyal to, I'm there when you're smiling. I'm there when you're crying. I'm there when you're angry. I'm there if you need me to go and, you know what I'm saying? I'm there for my people, like to the end of time. I always tell people this funny story. My best friend off the app, she's one of those really kind of meek and mild, super nice all the time people. And I can remember she called me one day because she was on the train and the guy next to her told her to be quiet on her cell phone. And she's like, can you cuss him out? Because he told me to be quiet. So she put her phone on speakerphone and I was like, look, don't you tell my friend to be quiet. It's a free country. She can talk if she want to talk. Like, that's the type of loyal friend that I am. I'm going to the end for my people, and that's just it. And like I said, I don't just say it, I do it. My people need me, I'm there for them. And even my friends on the app can attest to that. Like, I'm there if you need me.
That ride or die.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Anything that you would love to add in closing? Anything, any kind of wonderful positive words of encouragement you'd like to leave with anybody? Just to, you know, just the floor is yours.
Yep. So I just want to leave you guys with this concerning the topic. One of my favorite all-time quotes that you will hear me say 1,000,000 times is that actions speak louder than words. So in all things that you do, you can talk all day long. And some people like hearing good words and it make them feel good. But I'm going to tell you, the majority of people will not remember what you said. They're going to remember what you did. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And that's a quote by Maya Angelou. So just remember that when you're going forward in life, you're going to have to choose somebody at some point to be loyal to. Just make sure that when you do that, you stand behind the things that you say that you're going to do and do them. Just remember that actions speak louder than words. And if your actions back your words, then you won't ever have any issues.
Wow. Guys, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Please favorite this amazing person. She is such a sweetheart. It's been honestly such a pleasure and a privilege to have you on the show. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I continue to wish you so much wonderful success on the app. I certainly can see that you're just as much a wonderful person on the inside as you're on the outside. And I just want to, again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I thank everybody who came through to support, and I thank everybody who faved me, and blessings for all of you guys. Have a good night.
You too. Wow. Guys, that's the start of a show right there. Wow. Such a wonderful person. Guys, again, Black Diamond, please go ahead and hit a comment in the comment section so everybody can go ahead and hit you with a favorite. Please do that. She's an amazing person. There she is right there. And thank you so much for being here. Like I said, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show. Guys, now we're going to switch gears into this week's topic is confidence. And I think that's going to be a very interesting topic as well to discuss. We certainly can go a lot of different directions with that. And this time, I want to welcome someone with a very interesting name, and we'll go ahead and get into that with her in just a second. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, guys, Miss Shaquille Oatmeal to the box.
Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you
great.
for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much again for, like I said, the Black Diamond. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I know that you are a busy woman. You certainly have an amazing and incredible stream of people that support you each and every single day. So I really just want to, again, thank you for taking the time to be here.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you having me on here. I really do.
For
And what she had to say, I don't mean to cut you off. What she had to say was wonderful.
Yeah. And I mean, it's such a wonderful thing to be able to share things like that with people, to be able to discuss topics that I think that we all really think about, but we don't necessarily discuss at all times. And for us
Mhm.
to be able to have a platform like this and the show to have, I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for people to just give a lot of different opinions about how they feel about stuff.
Yeah.
Um, for anybody that's not familiar with you, would you certainly like to introduce yourself, kind of give us a little bit of a backstory on yourself? That name is very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people ask you about that, so the floor is yours.
So I'm Shaquille Oatmeal. I just started this app about 3 months ago, and I love it. We play like games over in my stream. We've definitely done a couple debates, which, I love doing to hear other people's perspectives. It's awesome. And then I just love having like positive vibes, and it's kind of honestly over in my stream, it's like a family. Like we all know each other and we have each other's backs, and it's like been a blessing for me. And like we're talking about confidence, they've definitely boosted my confidence a lot, that's for sure.
Well, I was going to say, I've certainly came across you very recently, and I've been able to have an opportunity to be in your stream just like I have other people's, and you have a great loyal, group of people,
Yeah.
friends, I'm sure, that have been able to support you in a lot of different ways, and so I know that you're obviously very grateful and appreciative of that for sure.
Yeah, I definitely am. Honestly, I can't thank them enough. I always tell them all the time. They make me cry happy tears like every day.
Yeah, it's a great feeling for sure. So just to kind of touch on your name, how did you come up with something that was very unique? Because I
Well,
think everybody's very familiar with.
I played basketball in high school, and
Okay.
I love basketball. I have like a little backstory on like me and just loving basketball. So I came up with this name. Like I found it actually. It's one of like the top. It's one of the top names on the internet, and I had it as my Instagram name. And I came on this app for like the dating portion, and then when I went to the streaming portion side of it, I noticed like nobody has their real names, and I'm like, I might as well just use Shaquille Oatmeal. And then I realized I didn't even know they had a little bowl emoji, but so yeah, so that's how it all came about.
That's pretty fitting. I think that Shaquille O'Neal is an amazing
Yes,
basketball player.
yeah.
I mean, Hall of Fame. I mean, he's won what, 4 rings and things like that.
Hmm.
So I myself also am very much into basketball. I've always been a huge part of my life. I still play even to today. Played. I made all conference in high school. I even played in college. So basketball, even to this day, at being 37 years old, certainly a very integral part of my life, and I'm very glad that I'm able to still be healthy enough to play all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I know you play basketball. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So as we get into the conversation tonight of confidence,
Mhm.
what does that mean to you? As we were reading the quotes earlier in the show, what steps out with you when you think of that particular topic?
Well, I do have like the literal definition of confidence, but like if you're asking what it means to me, like growing up and everything, you kind of have to learn a sense of yourself and who you are as a person. And I feel like everyone goes through phases, everyone, meets different people, and you kind of just got to figure out who you are as a person. And it took me a very long time, and I still think I'm in like this growing stage of finding out who I am, but it has a lot to do with self-love. And like I learned to love myself through trial and error, and it's an amazing thing when you actually get to know who you are as a person, and then you can be proud of who you are with the decisions that you make at the end of the day. And that's every day I try to make the best decisions and put my right foot forward, to go to bed at night thinking that I'm proud of what I did today and not have any regret of what I did or what I said.
What a great attitude that is. I think it's certainly important to have self-confidence. I think, you made a great point as well, that I don't think that there's ever any particular time in your life that you get to a level where you're just completely confident about everything.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that we're all human. I think that we all go through situations and sometimes circumstances in our life. I think sometimes we can certainly even have relationships that can kind of knock us down, in that level to where we don't necessarily probably have the best confidence that we may be used to. So
Yeah.
I think it's always a learning experience. I think there's always certainly a learning curve because I think that life is like that. It can certainly
Hmm.
throw us a lot of curveballs. And I think that maybe sometimes we may have a lot of confidence about something and we experience something and it kind of is like, ooh, we feel like we're kind of back in the infant stage. We kind of feel
Hmm.
like, man, I don't feel the same about that as I once did.
Hmm.
And I think that, like you said, it's important to have self confidence. I think that I try to certainly apply that to my life every single day because I think that when you have the confidence, people also see that as well.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think they can also not when they can see it when you don't have it. I think that when
Yeah.
you're struggling, I think that when you're not necessarily on your A game, people can
Hmm.
sense that and they're like, wow, he or she's not a very confident person. Would you agree?
Yeah, oh for sure. And especially I feel like on a streaming platform too, like I try to stream every single day and not every day is a great day. You go your through your ups and downs and I definitely know when I come on here and I'm not, myself and I'm in a, upset about something or something is bothering me, I know people can tell and they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" and stuff and just, people can feel that energy, which is amazing. But, it's also good to know that you're not confident all of the time. But, that's also part of learning and growing as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that what it really does is it even is in its finest form, it just teaches us that we're human. It
Hmm.
teaches
Yeah.
us that we can struggle. It teaches us that, like you said, we're not always going to have our A game. We're not always going to have the best of days. But, luckily for like a platform like this and being fellow streamers, we have people that can sort of bring us out of that and kind
Hmm.
of get us back to where we want to be or get us back to the people that they have learned to really enjoy and support in so many different ways.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know when I've come on here and I've been, not my most confident self, a lot of my supporters have brought me out of that, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, I am as well. I think a lot of times, when you get on a certain level, there's an expectation not only for yourself, but from
Hmm.
other people. And when you kind of struggle, when you don't have that confidence, it's written all over your face and
Hmm.
people see it and they also feel that. Energy, I've always believed that energy is a huge part of life,
Yeah.
positive, negative, whatever the case may be. I think it's a huge part of life. And when you're not on your A game, people see it, people feel it, and it kind of all works together. Um, has there ever been, and I don't know how much you really want to share, but has there ever been a particular time in your personal life where you felt like that you had a lot of confidence? Is there anything
Um,
that's happened that you felt like maybe you didn't, or maybe a little bit of both?
Yeah, so it kind of all goes together a little bit with my story. I'm a very open person, but I was an alcoholic and for a couple years, and when I decided to get sober, it was definitely a big change in my life, and it was also a dramatic change. Like you have to change your people, places, and things because you're obviously not living the same life they used to before. Um, so when I was an alcoholic, I thought I was very confident, I was having the best time of my life, but it honestly at the end of the day was destroying my life, and I wasn't really noticing that. So when I did get sober, I wasn't really necessarily confident because it was a big change. I wasn't hanging out with the same people that I used to hang out with. And I didn't really know how to be myself because myself for a very long time was drinking alcohol and doing all these things that weren't necessarily good for my life. So it took a lot of time for me to figure out who I actually was because for years and years and years, I was just, like not dealing with my emotions. I wasn't, hanging out with positive people. So it took me a long time to get back to learning who I was. Like it was just like being born again. And it's almost been 3 years and it's been like a very up and down battle. But I've been more confident in who I am because I get to like feel my emotions the way like naturally without using like any type of substance, just being who I am and figuring out like what things I love to do and what things I don't love to do. So like it's definitely been and like a very roller coaster ride for me, but it's been like the biggest blessing in my life to like just live my life presently and like love me for who I am without having to have all this other things attached to my life. So you know, I was confident, I was not confident, and now I'm like very confident. And like honestly, I can't even like express how much like I love my life right now. Like, and I try not to think, it's like one day at a time. Don't think too much in the future and don't think about the past, you know, just kind of like take it today, this minute, right now.
Yeah. Well, first off, congratulations. I mean, 3 years. I mean, that's a tremendous accomplishment in, you know, in its own right. You know, I certainly think, I'm sure that you're very grateful for that. I'm sure we could talk about just that right there for an hour, but I
Yeah,
just want to congratulate you on that. I think
thank you.
that that's amazing as well. You know, as you go through a struggle like that in life, whether it be alcohol, drugs, or other, you know, unhealthy distractions that people live their life with,
Hmm.
you know, to be able to get on the other side of that, to be able to have confidence to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get
Hmm.
back to the version of yourself that you want to be and that you want other people to see, I
Hmm.
think is important. And I think that a lot of people are not necessarily always blessed and fortunate to have that opportunity. I think a
Hmm.
lot of times people can kind of fall back. But, you know, a lot of that goes to having the right, you know, family members in your life, the right
Yeah.
friends in your life, the right situations and circumstances that you put yourself in to
Hmm.
surround yourself with.
Yeah.
I think that it all works together, and to have that confidence to be able to certainly balance all that out, you know, it certainly says a lot about you as a person for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was my parents are both sober, so like I kind of knew about that already, and then just like my environment in itself, but it's definitely a big life-changing event, but it's taught me a lot about who I am as a person, and like I cannot like, you know, thank all my experiences along the way, whether good or bad, because they all led me in the right direction, which way I was supposed to go.
Yeah, I think you made a great point as well that, you know, you have to live your life where you're at now. You
Mhm.
know, we all have things that we've done or experienced that have maybe not necessarily been our proudest moment.
Mhm.
And I think that we're all kind of guilty of that because obviously we're all human.
Mhm.
But, you know, to be able to get past that and be where we're at now, certainly I think for me anyway, is able to pave, you know, the future for where we want to be. What do you?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like living life in the moment, it helps so much because, like I said, and like you said too, a lot of people, you know, they make mistakes and stuff. And I, you know, getting sober doesn't make you like perfect and then you don't make any mistakes. You know, you still make mistakes. You can make worse mistakes than you did before. So,
Absolutely. I mean, we've
but
all been there.
yeah, but it's just learning and having lessons in your life, and I think that just, you know, learning from the mistakes is the best thing you can do, and then just taking day by day, because as long as you today in this moment, you know, you're happy with yourself and the decisions you're making right now, that's what helps me be confident. Because if you think about everything that you've done in your life and what you did yesterday and what you're going to do next week, like I would be all over the place and I don't think I would be that confident in myself. But just, you know, sticking in this time right now, it really helps with your confidence for sure.
I completely agree. I think it's good to sometimes have a plan, you know, have
Yeah.
a direction of where you want to go or where you want to be. You know, I
Hmm.
think a lot of times, you know, we can sort of just throw darts at the map of life, and that's sometimes a great, you know, great way to do that as well. But I think that when you're able to have, you know, certainly is some direction and guidance in your life
Hmm.
to do that, I think it certainly brings out a lot of wonderful things for sure. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night. It's called Gratitude, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Show's about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. And, you know, each week we have two guests that recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And so that's certainly something that we do every single week. And again, guys, this is an official show on Meet Me. If you check out Trending, Monday through Thursday, there's always a lot of incredible shows. There's cooking shows, gratitude, there's exercise shows, there's dating shows. There's certainly, I think, a lot of different things for a lot of different people to check out. So even if you get just a couple minutes in your time in your day, guys, just check out these people. There's a lot of awesome show and content creators that certainly put a lot of time, energy, and effort into what they're doing, trying to be, you know, unique and different in their own way on the app. So again, guys, please try to check them out. There's a lot of people on the app. So like I said, if you're new here, we're talking to Miss Shaquille Oatmeal. By the way, you did not read that wrong. About confidence and how important that is in her life. And she's certainly experienced a lot of things that have led her to where she's at now. I think that for me in my life as well, I think confidence, I think there's a lot of difference between being confident and being arrogant. I think a lot of times, I think that in some ways that can sometimes be a little bit more of a male problem than it can be a female. But I think that there's a very fine line between being confident and being arrogant. And I think that if you're able to understand the difference, people see that because it's important to be confident. I really think that it is. I think that when you're a confident person, I think that it's able to translate to your relationships with people and friends because you feel confident enough to talk to those people. You feel confident enough to be able to engage and socialize and carry on a conversation with people. And I think that that shows a lot in a lot of different ways. And I think you made a great point earlier as well, that when you're on a live streaming platform like this, it's able to network and connect to people to be able to do that. And I think that your stream especially as well shows that confidence that you have in yourself as a streamer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I definitely, I think, being arrogant, like you basically think that you can get whatever you want whenever you want. And I feel like being confident, like no matter what the outcome is, you have to remember, who you are. If you really, really want something, you can be confident about possibly getting that, but, you can't be, sour about it afterwards if it doesn't happen or whatever, because, we don't always get what we want. And that's actually a good thing, because if we always got what we want, I don't think we really learn a lot of lessons in life. So, it's okay to love yourself. I mean, that's like the best thing for you, is to love yourself and, try to think of yourself as your own person and not let anyone else affect you as a person, because we're all very different and everyone is beautiful, in their own way. So, it's very important to be confident, for sure.
It is. I think that as we were reading the quote earlier today that said, confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. I think a lot of people sometimes, and myself included, when you first start on an app like this, you want to be everybody's best friend. You want to be that likable guy, that sociable person that you think that everybody is going to like. And, I make a very interesting reference that, say you take a beautiful peach or a beautiful pineapple. It's the most perfect fruit that you've ever seen in your life. Perfectly peeled, perfectly whatever the case may be. Well, guess what? There's people that don't like peaches. There's people that don't like pineapple.
Exactly.
And so if you apply that in your life with confidence, you have to understand that you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
You're not going to be everybody's, brand of vodka. You're not going to be everybody's favorite fruit. And so when you start to understand that can be how life is and how it can be on a platform, that's where the self-confidence comes into play, because you just have to understand that, hey, look, it's not a personal thing. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. You got to focus on the people that do support you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what matters the most. I think we did have this conversation about, you're not everyone's cup of tea, and that's right. And that's okay. Not everyone has to like us, but the people who do like us, that's the most important. And as long as you like yourself and you believe and have faith in what you're doing, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. When you continue to think about the confidence and moving forward in your life, are there certain areas that you want to continue to apply that? Do you feel like that it's more important to apply it on the app? Do you feel like that there's better to have a balance between the two? How do you feel about that?
I think it's good to have a balance of the two, but I feel like if I wasn't, confident in myself, outside of the app, I really think it would portray on this app. So I feel like it's most important to get right with myself outside of the app, and that's what's most important. Like a lot of people know that I am a mom, and like that's my number one priority, and I'm very confident in being a mom. And like as long as my life and everything off of the app is going well. I'm confident in who I am, what I'm doing. You know, I'm grateful to share that confidence with the people on here. So I think it's, you know, I think it starts with off of the app, and then I can bring it to the app.
I completely agree. And I mean, you know, you take it a step further, like you said, being a mom and being a parent, you know, you certainly want to instill values and morals and things into your child's life. And if they can see you walk that, you know, and for perfect example, confidence, if you're able to, you know, do that in your own life, that certainly you're able to translate that to your child's life. And it all works together, because I think that, you know, like you said, a lot of times when you're a parent, you want to set the best example for your kids. You want to set the tone for, you know, where you're at, where you want to be, where they want to be, and continue to move forward with that. And so, you know, confidence is certainly a great place to start, you know, those teaching and life's lessons to where, you know, it's more of a consistent thing every single day instead of a chore.
Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, you know, I want to teach my daughter, you know, to love herself just like I love me. And it all starts with us as parents. You know, we have to show them through example, you know, how we are as a person. You know, I could teach my daughter to love herself, but if I don't love myself, you know, that's going to show her that. So it all starts with me being an example for her for that.
Yeah. Like you said, leading by example. You know, it's tough to you know, another way to put it is practice what you preach. You know, you can't get out there and start preaching this and that and try to tell people how to do this and that if you're not living it yourself.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Do you feel like that it's important to have self-confidence in a way that defines you? Or do you feel like, let me put it a different way. Do you feel like self-confidence is more important in your personal life or a setting like this? Or do you feel like that it's just something that comes naturally?
I mean, I think it does come naturally, but I think that kind of comes through like trial and tribulation, you know, because we're not all born and we don't just automatically have confidence. I think they're like life's experiences and getting to know yourself and who you are, and, you know, have, like I said, having faith in like your actions and everything like that, that builds confidence. So I think over time you just get confident, because I don't, you know, looking back, I don't think I was just, you know, had confidence and I am who I am. A lot of people, I think, especially when you're younger, and like junior high and everything like that, you're kind of like broken down a little bit because, you know, there's people that aren't nice and then you lose your confidence. But as you get older, you know, like we talked about, not everyone, you know, you're not everyone's cup of tea, and you have to learn that that's okay. And like I said, it builds over time. So through just experiences in life and, you know, just like I said, loving yourself and just knowing yourself, and being proud of who you are, you know.
Right. Yeah. I think it's important to really be proud of yourself, because if you're not proud of yourself, who is? If you're not worried about yourself, you can't certainly worry about everybody else to be concerned about you. And everybody's kind of worried about, you know, doing their own thing or taking care of their own life, their own kids. But, you know, you have to do that. And like you said, you know, I think it's important to have that same mindset and translate into real life. You know, when you realize that you're just not everybody's cup of tea, when you realize that you're just not going to connect with everybody, you're not going to be everybody's best friend, you know, as you can get over that and just do what you can, you know, it makes life, for me anyway, a lot better. You know, it takes a lot of pressure off yourself to always have to perform, always have to be this and that all the time. You know, you have to realize that we're all human. We all kind of, you know, make mistakes. We can kind of fall short in certain places, but, you know, you have to have that confidence all the time. In closing, anything that you want to leave with anybody, any kind of encouraging words, anything that you'd love to share with anybody?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely just encourage everyone to just, you know, remember who you are. Don't let other people steer you in the wrong direction, and, you know, keep pushing for self-love and doing what you love, and don't let anybody tell you different, because at the end of the day, you know, everyone is beautiful, no matter, you know, what you do, who you are, what color your skin color is. You know, it's just all about being yourself. And as long as you love yourself, you know, confidence just like literally just shines out of you. You don't like have to force it or anything. So, you know, I just I wasn't myself for a long time, and I finally learned it's okay to be myself no matter if people like me or if they don't like me. I always say, whether if you're the perfect person on the planet, there's always going to be one person that doesn't, they're like, have something to say. So just do what you want to do and what makes you proud of yourself. So
what an amazing attitude that is. I love it. You couldn't have said it any better than that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time. Guys, if you're new here, please favorite this amazing person. She's a great guest. She's been certainly just very vulnerable and very open about, confidence in her life and how important it is. So again, I wish you the best. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much
for taking the time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right, I appreciate that. Take care.
You too.
Wow, guys, what a show. What an amazing show. Thank you so much for being here. Again, Black Diamond talking about loyalty, Shaquille Oatmeal talking about confidence. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. It's amazing. Guys, next week's topic is, as we're going to be getting a little bit closer to Memorial Day, as we're going to be getting a little bit, celebrating the federal holiday of that, and in honor of, people that have fought for this country. Our next week's topic is going to be freedom. And so that's what we're going to talk about. If you're interested in ever being on the show, please check out my bio. There's a link to my Instagram. Message me on Instagram. Let me know if you're interested in being on the show. That's what we're going to go with, is freedom. And that can be taken a lot of different ways. Freedom within the country, freedom on our independence, just freedom in general is important. There we go. And, fly the colors in the world and be proud of America. So, guys, that's what we'll be talking about next week, is freedom. So, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time. We do this every single Monday, again, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This is a show that we have called Gratitude. It's about finding people that want to show more thanks during their life. We have guests every single week that recall circumstances, memories, and people that have humbled them, that help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all. What a show. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Wow. Now we're out of show mode. Guys, thank you. Raider Rob, man. Whew, what a show. Shaquille, thank you. Thank you so much. Jody, thank you. Y'all are amazing. Thank you guys for being here. It's great. Let me yeah, right. Let me change that photo really quick since we're getting out of show mode. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. Boom. Wow, guys. Thank you for being here. Guys, if you're new here, please hit me with that favorite. Like I said, this is a show that we do every single week. I saw a lot of people come in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting what we're trying to do. Yo, now I can read comments. I don't want anybody to think I wasn't paying attention to comments. Guys, thank you so much. Everyone stay positive. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What a show, guys. What a freaking show tonight. That hair gel there, right? Shaquille, thank you. Thank you for being here. Oatmeal for president, right? I love it. The blue checkers for you? Okay. Hey, let me know, guys. Like I said, anybody interested in being on the show, please hit me up on Instagram. It's in my bio. We're always looking for new guests, new people that are interested in being on. So I'm always looking for new guests all the time. Yo, Yellow, thank you, brother. Yo, Greg, what's up? Let's go. Mods, what's up?